Hi everyone, welcome to Miss Adams Predicts Poetry. This video is going to take a look at the Edexcel Time and Place collection from the anthology. We'll have a look at what's come up over the last few years and the samples and specimens, see if we can spot any trends or patterns. But as always, I must say, we do not have crystal balls, so do not place your eggs in one basket. Make sure you're revising broadly and widely. That being said, let's get started.
Okay, so last year was First Flight, which in some ways was a little bit of a surprise because we have had so many modern poems on the Time and Place over now the last 4 years. So it makes me think, it makes me wonder whether it's time to bring back a good old romantic poem. But as we know with this exam board, with all exam boards, they've got a duty to be unpredictable, so we don't know. But here are some of the poems that I think are high up on the list. So I wonder about getting, a good old-fashioned, 19th century sort of romantic style poem on the go, because we've not really had anything like that since Composed. Romney's a bit too late to be considered in that way. To Autumn, right? That would be an obvious one. First poem of the collection, brilliant poem. And the other one that we haven't had that obviously everyone is waiting for and desperate for is London, because that's obviously one of the best poems in the collection, which would, you could compare to Composed, or you could compare to Nothing's Changed if you wanted something a bit more chunky. And Home Thoughts now has been on the specimen, but that does not mean it's not going to come up. And actually, exam boards have started to repeat poems. AQA repeated Charge of the Light Brigade, I think on year 2 and then like maybe year 5. So any of the poems really could come up, but Home Thoughts sort of fits the bill of looking at the kind of like power of nature and being a 19th century poem. Now, in terms of what else hasn't come up, Absence by Elizabeth Jennings has not come up yet. Which, by the by, pairs very nicely with Picnic. Now, Picnic, specimen 2. So again, it's not been examined yet. It's not been examined. So, like I said, anything can come up, but that's a possibility. But those two go quite nicely together, so that's probably quite a neat little bit of revision for you. And then the only other thing that isn't on the main schedule of exam papers is Adlestrop. Okay, that came up in the sample paper, so again, just as likely. But like I said, they do have to be unpredictable. So goodness knows, you could have any of these popping up again. We just don't know. So you know what I'm going to say. You need to revise broadly and widely. Make sure you've got a great working knowledge, like a functioning knowledge of all 15 of those poems, and then have like a deep dive where you have like 6 poems that you know really, really well. Oh, I've just realised the one poem that I've not mentioned to you here is Postcard from a Travel Snob. Now, Postcard hasn't come up either, and not in any formation. But the reason why I haven't put it on as a kind of obvious one is because First Flight was last year and it was travelling. Most people probably compared it to Postcard or Stewart Island. So I wonder if it's less likely, but heed my words, exam boards have to be predictable. Now that I've said that, Postcard is blatantly coming up, let's be fair. Okay, that's it from me. Hopefully that was helpful. Do subscribe, do share the video with your buddies because we're all in the same boat. Otherwise, hope it's all going well. Happy revising.